Hello and welcome to the channel. And for today's video, we are checking out this repaint, custom repaint of Transformers Legacy Jhiaxus. To say that this figure has gone through an ordeal is putting it mildly. I may have mentioned this. Yeah, I brought this up, wow, way back when I did my top 10, or not top 10, but my top figures from 2022. So this was near, obviously near the end of last year. I had mentioned that in this figure made my list, right? And I was in the middle of repainting the figure because I had mentioned that I had already repainted and customized the figure, but had some troubles after I applied the clear that I was using. The clear went on heavy in some areas, and also it started to yellow the white areas of the figure. Excuse me. So basically, I had to start over from scratch, because the figure was yellowing, and I didn't want a yellowish white paint, so I had to start over. And when I started over, I put the figure in a alcohol bath, you could say. So I put it in a Tupperware, filled it with, I believe I used most of what I had of the 99% alcohol, or 91%, whatever this is. 91% alcohol. I put it in that bath, and I may have mixed it with some 70% alcohol. So I put it in the alcohol bath for the paint to come off. So I put it in for like 2 days or a day and a half or something, and then just remove the paint with a toothbrush. But silly me, I forgot that clear plastic and alcohol don't really mix well. So we did run into an issue further, and I'll show you further in a little bit, with regards to a part that broke off. But funny enough, it didn't have anything to do with the clear plastic. The issue with the clear, no, actually it did. Now that I'm seeing the part right now, I'm seeing why it broke off. Okay, but anyway, here he is finally. I've had him finished for a while. Uh, uh, just I kept putting off filming the video for no particular reason other than just other stuff came up, that I wanted to show you. But this thing has been finished for pretty much easily 3 months. uh, but um, but I just kept putting it off. So finally we're here. So we are now taking a look at the custom painted Jhiaxus, which at first I wasn't even sure if I wanted to collect the figure, but like I said in that top figures of 2022, the figure turned out to be surprisingly fun and cool looking as well. But it did lack some stuff, so that's why I decided to do the customizing on it. So let me just maybe lower the camera a little bit more, just so you can see it here at ground level, and see all of the paint detail that I did. So pretty much the white paint is not white, it's a pearlescent white. Hopefully you can tell when it hits the light in some areas, right? Anyone that's familiar with this figure, or familiar with when Hasbro uses like a white, or they attempt to use like a pearlescent white color plastic, that tends to yellow over time. So to prevent that, that was even the main reason why I did the custom in the first place, to prevent the yellowing of the plastic, right? So I decided to repaint the figure. So the white is a custom paint that I mixed myself using pearlescent white ink, on top of mixing it with titanium white, and I believe that was them. And then just watering it down to a good consistency. Um, Same for the yellow. It's a metallic pearlescent type yellow. And same for the red. It's not a straight up metallic red that you buy off the racks. This is a custom color that I mixed myself. The green again, yeah, and the green is also a custom color that I mixed myself. So yeah, this really truly, other than like the silver paint or bits and pieces that like black that you see here, most of it is all custom paints that I had to mix myself. You can see here at the top. So for those who have the figure, you'll notice I painted the canopy in a jet black. So one of the reasons that I did that, for those who don't know or remember or have this figure, this is like a smoky. The canopy is in like a smoky plastic color, similar to this color of the gun, right? But when I did the initial repaint, um, the clear that I used kind of gunked up in some areas and did not look all that attractive. So when I tried to remove, during the alcohol bath, the the uh, the clear didn't completely come off, and it just ended up looking ugly. So that's when I decided, well, I'm just gonna have to repaint the whole thing in black, just to cover up anything that looks weird and ugly and messy. So you'll get a better idea when we look at it in robot mode. You can see some flaking on some areas, like right there. You can see some green, right, rubbing off. That's because there is no clear on this guy. I didn't want a repeat of the previous accident, so the paint is all bare paint, no clear on top. Right. So that's the look here at Jhiaxus in its plain mode. So painting, one of the things that was a little bit of a hassle is painting all of these cables in different colors. The original figure, all of this was just one color. So just to give more life to the figure, I decided to paint all of these. I even tried like different combinations to see how I can hide this gap that's underneath this opening on the figure. I don't know how Hasbro decided to think, it's okay. We'll leave this gap right here underneath. Nobody will notice. I mean, come on, guys. So I tried different combinations from putting the maybe putting on the arms. Wait, how did I have it? Yeah, I had it like this, right? No, how did I have this? Oh, there, right there. I tried putting the arms facing forward, trying to get creative and see how I could hide that gap. But I ended up just choosing to put the gun, the red gun, underneath to hide the gap somewhat, and just attach the other gun and using that as the weapon pointing forward. So again, so custom paint, custom paint, custom paint, custom paint, custom paint, custom paint, right? The silver bits on top. You can see some right here in this area right there. How you can see it's a little, ugly. There's supposed to be a Decepticon symbol right around there, or not? Yeah, the G2 Decepticon symbol. But again, because of how this turned out, I just had to cover it up with I believe this is Sharpie. Yeah, silver Sharpie pen. And the gold, I believe that's also from a Sharpie. I initially tried with a Sharpie, but I then decided to just go with acrylic paint instead. But there's that. So let me pause for just 1 second because I'm not going to transform him on camera. I'm going to pause, transform the figure into robot mode, and then I'll show you how it looks. Alright, and here we have Jhiaxus in his robot mode. Something that you may notice is that he doesn't have his little shoulder cannon thingy sensor that he has. So that is one of those parts that I had mentioned broke off. So you can see here on the inside where the pin is, if this camera would focus, there you see it is held with clear plastic. So when I did the you can see some of that red paint that is still embedded in there from the first initial custom. So when I did the alcohol bath to remove the paint work on this guy, the first paint work, the clear plastic reacted with the alcohol, which made it a little more brittle. And when I tried to, I don't even remember what I did. I think I just moved this piece, trying to put it in position, and it snapped. So there's that. I can attach that piece. I don't know where I can attach that piece, because there's the other piece here. This piece attaches to, I believe this is what goes here, right? So now I just keep it permanently on the gun. But for this, I don't know what I can do with it. I could, if I keep it, if I re-glue it to the figure, it's gonna stay there permanently because there's no way to attach this to the figure without gluing it in place. But that would hamper the transformation for the cockpit, because this piece slides over on top, so it would get in the way. So it needs to flip inside for the transformation. So I might as well just keep it out of the way. But yeah, here we have Jhiaxus in his robot mode, and I think this is where the paint job really, no pun intended, shines. Although, just again, like I said previously, the paint has no clear, so it is definitely more susceptible to flaking. And you can see here in some areas, right here on the top of the leg, you can see some of that paint come off, just because how the figure transformed. This part clips on top of over here, and it's just naturally gonna rub off in some parts where it makes heavy contact. And I know these flip on the back for robot mode, but I like how it looks. It's like a good symmetry for with the wings. But anyway, uh, but here you have how. Oh, let's bring him a little bit closer then. Let me raise the camera. There you go. So yeah, I like how the paint job turned out for here in robot mode. Um, you can see how the face was repainted against the same colors. It's the metallic red, custom metallic red. The yellow on the face is the same as on the or did I not repaint the face? Let me see. No, I did, but that was a different mix. Obviously, excuse me. When we're dealing with custom colors, unless you have a lot of uh, unless you keep track of like the correct portions and mixes and percentages of what you used, it's hard to replicate twice, right? So the face looks a little more darker than the rest of the yellow, so I couldn't 100% match the initial coloring, right, for my custom mix of yellow, but it's hardly noticeable. But for the most part, it looks pretty close. So there you have him. You can see here where the Decepticon logo should go. I may have some spare. Actually, I do, because when I bought these, when I bought through Show Z the KO Dinobots, and did I show you guys? Just to, FYI, I do have the full set now. But when I showed you every order from Show Z has like a sticker sheet of Transformer symbols. So it does not include the G2, only the G1 faction symbols. So I don't have a G2 faction symbol to put on this guy, but I'll just put the regular Decepticon logo on it. But anyway, as I was saying, the paint job on this guy, I think, turned out pretty great. I like how the pearlescent white looks. Here's some of that detail that is not visible in in plane mode. I like how it turned out. It looks better in this mode. So again, all of the paints that I mentioned are custom mixes. The only stock paint that I used was for the inside bits here along the joints here. These gunmetal color, that's Tamiya. Although you can see it rubbing off right there. On the back. But everything else, and I guess this is, I believe this is acrylic, not the Tamiya, this is just another acrylic gunmetal color that I used. I even painted the bottom of his feet. I went with the dark color as opposed to the yellow. Just thought it would look better. But then again, you can see some of that paint rubbing off at the knees. All right. So again, the clear that I had used was the Duplicolor. Sorry, the Duplicolor clear. I had mentioned that when doing my initial customs. I believe I mentioned it during the He-Man my film attempt at a filmation He-Man using the Masterverse, the very first Masterverse He-Man, that clear, that that duplicolor clear tends to tint the skin. Oh no, sorry, it tends to tint the 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 color a little, So I switched to a different duplicolor clear that, from my eye, didn't look too tint the base color underneath, but I guess it does. Maybe because I went a little too heavy, like I said. So maybe that was the result of why. Um, but again, I may have to search for a different clear to apply to protect specifically paint jobs like these, right? That require a lot of clear and resistant clear, heavy duty clear that is scratch resistant. That's why I bought the duplicolor, because it's supposedly high resistant to scratches and flaking and all of that. Excuse me. Because it's used for automotive parts, so it's supposed to be extra durable, but which it is when it hardens and cures. But one of the side effects is, and maybe it tints the color a little too much. So especially we're dealing with white. But this pearlescent white color that I mixed, I actually really like how it turned out. Instead of that milky white plastic that Hasbro uses. I know that painting this figure white would have been a hassle for them, so um, I understand why they went with the just the white plastic, the plastic that they used. But I would have preferred they just used white plastic, period, not that funky white that they used. So yeah, pretty much that is it for this guy. I mean, other than just the it's a full-on repaint, right? Um, just the problem that I had the first time around, I actually liked. I believe the first mix that I had of the pearlescent white actually sparkled a little more than this. You can actually see it, reflecting light. Pretty cool when it hit it, when light hit it. This is a little more subdued, which is fine. Yeah, I mean, you can still see it's almost sparkling a little bit. There we go. But I think I may have used a little too much mix of titanium white on this one, as opposed to more of the pearlescent white the pearlescent ink that I used on the first mix. But yeah, I mean, I guess I guess my thinking was I'm gonna try and lean more towards the the for the resistance purposes, right? But eventually you can see it's still flaking off. So them are the breaks. So yeah, I'm gonna have to also. I guess I'm gonna have to look for a more durable clear now. In a previous video, I mentioned that on the Origins Viking He-Man, that I was looking for a good chrome, and All Clad apparently makes that mirror chrome that everybody looks for. I believe their clear is also pretty good, so I may look into that as well. So yeah, anyway, that's pretty much it with this custom. Overall, like I said, I think it turned out pretty well. I think it enhanced the figure more than it was the base color. Adding the metallics, um, does add something to the look of the figure, instead of just using like a flat green, a flat red, flat yellow, and all of that. So that's about it. Thank you for watching. Like, comment, subscribe. Let me know what you guys think. And oh, actually, aren't these supposed to flip? Yes, but I actually like this look now that I'm looking at it. So yeah, like, comment, subscribe. Let me know what you guys think, and I'll see you all in the next one.